Hello! Today for your viewing pleasure I have a fairly rare camera. This is a 1915 Graflex compact graphic. I believe there's probably no more of these that are functional in existence due to the fact that by extensively searching online I haven't been able to find any photographs that are actually taken by one of these cameras. This camera is currently equipped with a 8-inch f2.9 Dallmeyer Pentax. It's a British aerial recon lens. It's like a cousin to the Aero Ektar. It's only a little bit longer and a little bit slower, which makes it ideal for cameras that have an extended mirror box and need extra clearance to be able to actually have the internals working inside. This camera, like all Graflex cameras, except for a few factory Super Ds, has a slotted back, a Graflex back, meaning that it takes slotted film holders. These film holders are different than, say, a standard film holder in that they require slots on the sides to be able to actually groove into the cameras. Now this camera is called a compact Graflex because it has something called a capping shutter. Due to the nature of the design, the mirror actually folds to 90 degrees while the lens completely comes inside the camera body while it closes up. This means that the bellows is free floating, and because of that it can't use the sides of the camera having stops inside to have the mirror fold up against them and block all the light from the inside. This means that it requires a secondary shutter curtain, which proved to be slightly unreliable. Not to say that it is entirely unreliable and that it's not a bad design, but it was overly complicated for the time, so seeing the need for excessive reliability in press cameras, they decided that they would completely eliminate that feature and go with the more common shutter design you see on Graflexes today, and basically any camera after the compact Graflex. The shutter release on this camera is not a direct push down, it's actually a fold outwards, which is interesting because I haven't seen that on any of the other Graflex SLRs. This camera has been recently CLA'd and it's running very, very smoothly. And I hope to take a lot of nice pictures with it in the spring, particularly portraits, because the f2.9 lens is going to give me a very nice shallow depth of field for that purpose. The capping shutter here is a toothed gear. It runs directly off the shaft for the mirror. So when I pull the mirror back down to reset it into its taking position, it will raise the capping shutter, preparing it for winding for the next shot, keeping it from getting exposed. You can see here is the second main shutter curtain, or actually the primary shutter curtain. Now, just to give you an idea of the size, I'm going to compare this to a regular 4x5 film holder. This is a standard 4x5 inch film holder, set into the back of the camera so you can get an idea of the size of this camera. It's actually fairly small for a 5x7 SLR. Because of the compact nature, it doesn't require the lens to be mounted all the way out in the front. It can actually hold it on the inside. You can see here that when I retract the lens, it actually pushes into the camera body, pushing this mirror lever all the way back. And this camera will actually swallow a lens as large as a Dallmeyer Pentax. It's got a nice big hood. I know this is probably off frame, but you can actually fit your whole face around it, and with small enough glasses you would actually be able to wear glasses with this. Unfortunately mine are just about a ½ inch too wide to be able to use this comfortably. Some photos you see of Edward Weston, he has these kind of slightly prissy looking pince-nez glasses because he found that they would actually work really well with the Graflex SLRs. And that's basically all I have today to conclude this video about the 5x7 compact Graflex. If you would check me out on Facebook, Eric Smith Portrait and Event Photography, I'll link it in the bottom. Please check out my photos. I'll be putting future photos from this camera and other Graflex cameras such as my 1915 Graflex RB Junior and my Graflex RB Super D in the future. Now thanks, take care.